everyone. Hello. Thank you so much for joining us. I just want to do a quick intro. So this is Jennifer Elton. She's the CEO, for those of you who haven't met her. I'm Christina Raskin, the National Training Director.
Lelaine, I do the fitness component for the yoga teacher training.
And I'm Jess Fado. I teach at 3 Oxygens in Lower Mainland.
Perfect. And so we'll be leading the workshop today, and obviously, you know, a lot of the people in the room here we know, so I just wanted to kind of introduce ourselves to all of you. So thank you for taking the time to either watch this live if you're live, or watch the recording if you're doing that. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy this.
Enjoy.
The purpose of our beginning Shavasana is just to take a few moments to center and ground yourself. Become fully present within these four walls. Beginning to notice sensations on your body, clothing, touching your skin. All the places where your body connects to the mat. The air touching your skin. Becoming aware of all sensations in the four corners of your body. Setting the intention for your time here today. Maybe the intention to learn or to grow in your teaching. Maybe to get re-inspired. As you set a personal intention for your time here, as you work on your own communal space, also helping your fellow teachers. Taking a few more moments to become really crystal clear on your intention. Crystal clear on the intention to support all of those around you.
Starting to deep into the breath slightly. Bring the awareness back into your body. Expect yourself to take a deep breath. Acknowledge its power. And reach your arms up overhead. Lengthen your fingertips towards the back of the knee. Send your legs down long, toes towards the front. Give yourself a nice pull. So that's how you pinch the hip flexors. Then extend both legs up towards the head and behind the body of the thighs. We pause in on the point and pause in on the flats for the stretch through the Achilles tendons, the calves, the hamstrings. With the arms, gently pull those thighs in towards your chest. In any movement in these opening stretches that suits your body, remember to listen to your body and honor where you are within your own personal practice. That whatever that is absolutely perfect. And then grounding down through the right foot. Flexing left foot, take outside of left ankle on top of right knee and find your fingers for stretch. Interlace your fingers behind the back of the right thigh and extend the right leg up. As you're in your figure four, stay as you are, think about lengthening that left knee forward at the same time pulling the right down to chest. So back. Rock from side to side, massaging the back, the SI joint. One more moment here. And bending back into the right knee. Uncrossing the legs. And cross the left foot on top of the right knee. Find your figure four stretch on the other side. Interlace your fingers behind the back of the thigh, pulling towards chest. Continue to extend and flex through that standing leg. Make sure that your shoulders are rooted. Moving off of the mat, and you can ground your left foot back down and place your right hand to the inside of the right knee and center weight. One more moment here. Guys, grounding down through that left leg, uncrossing the legs, drop both knees into the chest one more time. Wrap your arms around your shins, give yourself a nice gentle hug, this time fill your forehead to your knees. And then reaching behind the back of your thighs, give yourself 3 gentle bulldogs to a comfortable seated position. Grab yourself some water if you like. And we're going to meet in standing at the back of our mat. Oh.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
7, 8, 9, 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. 10 lower, guys. 10 lower. 9, 8, 30. Get the weight, 17, 20.
Who would be the next step?
5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Hello.
Yeah, they're good. I asked them. Don't worry.
So far. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Right. Five, four, three, two, and one. Get down. This time we're going to take it to the right. Okay, 30 on the right, 30 on the left. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. Last 10. Finish that left knee a little bit further. We're going to go right to the other side. 5, 4, 3, 2, and one left side. Nailed it. 4, yellow. 7, 8, 9, 10. That's up, guys. Tight. Second half leg. Light is tap control. Tap. Tap. 10 more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Forward fold. Hands down onto the mat. We're going to step our feet backwards. Roll onto the right side. Left arm up. We're going to hold it up. 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold. 'Cause
Was this new to anybody today? No? Yeah. This is new to you? No, okay, you're like, yeah. So anyways, my name's Jen, I'm the CEO of the company, and we want to create as many opportunities for us to get together, share our ideas, brainstorm, and collaborate. And this is just about learning. And one thing that we do need within our operations, obviously this is a franchise, so what do we need? We need consistency. So thank you all for taking the time out to come and take part in this, because this to me sends a message that you guys really care and you want to emulate and be able to serve what we created here. So I just want to say thank you. Does anybody have any questions for me off the get-go? No? So, okay, so we're going to go through certain formatting elements, and as I said, the main purpose is one, for us to learn off each other, two, to ensure that we have consistency amongst all of our locations on what we're delivering, and just have fun, right?
Yes, totally. So we're going to actually rearrange the maps of the school for you guys into a circle. Circle is about community, it's about collaboration, and it's easier to ground. Get our energy mixing together.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you guys so much. I just wanted to start by saying that I had the amazing opportunity working with social media portion of Oxygen Yoga to go around to the different studios and meet and attend a lot of your classes. And I just want to say that every studio that I've been to has just blown me away. And I know what it's like to be a Stanford instructor. I know what it's like to be a new instructor. And everybody's practice is constantly changing and evolving. You're going to go through ebbs and flows, and you're going to experience different things. You're going to get inspired by different people. Going to another instructor's class, get inspired by that person. I just want you guys to all know that I think that you're warriors and you guys are amazing and everybody's doing an awesome job. Like, thank you all for coming today. Like, it's huge that you're here. All this is about is collaboration and just trying to maintain consistency across the Oxygen brand, but also just like to vibe with each other and to create a sense of community across the board. So like, thank you so much for being here. We have a couple of key points to hit. To just kind of talk about like fusion. This is mostly about, of course, fusion classes and the fitness component. So we'll dive right into it. But is there anything you want to add?
Yes, we're just so thankful that you all came, and we're excited to play together. And for those of us that don't know each other well, to have this time together to know each other, and for those of us that are old friends, to have that time. Obviously, teaching sometimes is a very solo job, and nice to each other, support each other in that way.
Yeah, perfect.
Before we get started, can we maybe just go do a round robin and say what your name is and what location you're from?
Yeah.
Okay.
Start.
You guys.
Start.
Yeah.
I'm Elaine. I'm the owner of Plum, and I also teach at Coco. I've been teaching since 2013. And now I'm part of the fitness component for the YTT. I'm Jessica Fado, Jess. I teach Lower Mainland. I've had the pleasure of also subbing to Christina since I took the 200-hour teacher training program with Christina. And that girl over there, those two gorgeous angels, back, I think it was like a year and a half ago, about a year and 4 months. So I've been practicing yoga for probably 3-4 years and going to fitness and teaching Oxygen for the past year and a half. And I teach in the 3 locations in Lower Mainland. So Maple Ridge, Coco, and Portland as well. I had the opportunity to work with Jen and the social media. And yeah, here we are today. Just kind of was in the right place at the right time and accepted to do this. I'm scared shitless. So I was like, fuck it, let's do it. A little bit of me running on my leg, but that's okay. That's the universe telling you that you're right where you need to be.
So here we go. It's done now. I'm talking.
That should not be typical yoga.
So I'm Christina Raskin. For those of you I don't know, I'm the National Training Director of Oxygen, so I run the teacher training program. Yeah, I deal with things like this, workshops, continuing education for instructors, and yeah, I've been with Oxygen, I don't know how long, 5 years, 4 years, something like that. I've been teaching for 15 years. So teach fitness, yoga, Pilates, used to teach dance, but that's taken over my world now. So yeah.
Hi, I'm Jen. Nicole. Yes. Village and season.
Did you quit your job too?
My name is Lauren, and I teach at Oxygen, so sorry.
Hi, I'm Amory. I also teach at Salisbury. I teach training presence.
So essential.
We're just like friends.
You're so dynamic. You have to bless her.
I'm going to Costa Rica next week to teach a retreat for Oxygen, so I'm base standing.
Nice. That's a wicked. Cool. I'm excited. So we're just gonna kind of go around the room and see each other's moves. Like, what do you guys like to do in your fitness classes? Basically, with the format of Fusion, please, Christina, jump in and correct me along anytime. You're opening up your class based off of the sun salutation. So all of the moves in Fusion classes, it's fast-paced class, 130 to 40 beats per minute. The music isn't going to be any lower than that. If it is, and it's kind of like a tone sculpt type of music-based class. It's called Fast and Furious for a reason, right? It's fast and it's quick, and you're going to keep going. So that, like what you saw me go through, should lead you up into go at least the halfway point, at least the 30-minute mark, and then kind of take a rest or whatever. So I would love to go around a circle. Let's get into our sun salutation. We're going to have like hold like a plank for like 10 minutes, obviously. But we'll go around. Let's start in standing and let's talk about. Let's show us your moves. What do you guys do in your classes? So I showed you 2. So we were here in our chair pose classes. Okay, actually I showed you 3. You've got to take it to the right, take it to the left, and then you've also got this. Okay, either side. So does anybody, I love that you stand up right away. Is there anyone, and feel free, anyone that wants to go jump in, let's just kind of make this a collaboration and the right face around. Does anybody have anything else in standing to that side?
Yes, give us some ideas to play with each other, inspire each other. I think the arm pulses, like circles, and then like really back. So I do like 100 forward, 100 back, 100 shifting the palm, 100 forward, 100 back.
Beautiful. Perfect.
So it like involves the shoulder.
Yes. Awesome. Super good. Anyone else?
So like outer squats.
Point your toes out. And feel free to do it, because when you do it, you're going to remember it in your body. Some memory will kick in when you're in your classes. So as we're going around, get into it. Okay? So we're here. When you're at any safety cues that you could do while you're
Flat back, shoulders are over, toes are going to toes your knees don't fall to the inside. And then just pulsing the small pulses.
Perfect. Beautiful. Awesome.
I'm teaching Fast and Furious, and this might move fast, might not be too fast, but when I do arm classes, I'll put my hands in a triangle, and I'll put like a really fast on line, and just pulse back as fast as we can, and then I'll start with another. We're inspiring, but you know, we're here.
Together, just pulse back.
Wait.
Oh.
You want to go meet into the center of the circle
That's
so they
good.
can see you? Or take that?
Like video.
Yeah.
I like the feet there. Cool. I'm wanting to remember that one too. All right, is there anyone else? Tadasana. Standing. Think about like if you wanted to do some dog jumps. Okay, so here. Here we go, that kind of thing. Sorry. Yeah, totally. That would be like a runner's lunge thing. Okay, so we're here in runner's lunge. And we're here in runner's lunge. Knee drops. Yes, right? You want to make it harder? Take your hand behind your back. You're here.
drop that knee, or palms into our position and pulse the knee down.
You can take it with half of it over and after that.
Nice one, good. Pulse.
Turn out though. Turn out.
Isolate that muscle. Or take it to the second. Okay, take your hand onto the bar and give it more support. Now, waterfall. Beautiful. That was awesome. This one burn. I usually do 15 because it feels. Everybody try this one. Try this. Fingertips down. Excuse me. Stand the leg straight. Lift that leg up. Close the hip off. Then into the neck, into the left. Just outside the right calf. Tap the knee there, and then straight back up. Demo the first one, and then get right into it. Down, 2, up. Down, 2. 3.
Blocks.
Always stand for excellent modification. So like modification for mountain climbers, full climb. Right? Just go static pose. You're still working your body really hard.
And some people who have wrist problems too, always go down to dolphin, right? Yeah.
So for that one, for waterfall, what's the wrist there? Yeah. So how would you protect that? Which knee to grip? So how do I keep make sure that our core keep our core into their ACL? Yeah. So you like you say, you can show one, and as you show it, make sure you keep that weight in the heel. Let's go. Up, in, up, in, up, in. You can continue to count that. And they're like kids would say, remember, weight in that heel. 8, 7, 6, right? Give that safety cue. You can still give that and no one moves.
That's one of the key points of why you're here is to make sure that you're cueing as you're counting. So you don't need to demo every move for like a minute. You know, not that you're doing that, but like sometimes I forget. I'm like, oh yeah, just demo 1 or 2. Cue as you're counting. So I hope that you guys kind of picked up on that as I was teaching class as well. So remind them. You can get a few cues in the beginning, remind them of it, and then throw in a few more as you're counting. Especially when you've got to count from like 100, you can throw in at least 3 cues in that time, right?
So, anybody want to lead us in that? Anybody want to lead us in 20 waterfalls and give us a safety cue while we're doing it?
Cameron.
Yeah, you are good. I'm not really good at being on the spot. Remember, we're all going to support each other. It's not a good round, right? We're all just having fun. Is there a reason? I can put it up a little bit. All right, so teach us 20, and in there at some point, give us a safety cue. Okay, we'll stand right from the launch. So launch, 3, 2, 1. We love you, Shannon. I'm new. Last 5, coming into waterfall, leg up, 2, and 1, leg up. Light bend in the knee, protect your joints, get that left heel up high. 3, 2, 1, knee comes behind the right knee, up for 1, down, up for 2, keep it up, down. 5, 6,
I didn't introduce myself, so I hope that they know me.
Up, bang, bang, stop here, up, through, down, 1, up, 2, down, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 8, right? All of you, 7, 6, down, 3, last 2, last 1. Awesome. Thank you. Part of the transition to a little bit of faster and slower, but you still want to keep it fast. The way to do that is just to put a little pause in. And you can always put a pause in with the breath. So if you're doing something on this tempo, and you're going to slow it down, you can inhale up, exhale, let's go. That's good, fast, and up, fast, and up. So the pause in position that they can hold and take a breath. They can take your
Yeah.
So are we done with 2009? Anybody else have anything else to say?
So our whole goal is to build a warm-up of the sun salutation, right? So we'll transition into a sit down dog. So start thinking of movements or exercises that you can do when you're down dog. Basic like right? Like
Down dog.
Kind of like on the feet.
Knee to elbow drop.
Knee to elbow.
I was bring the knee into the chest and pop up the leg. Maybe the tricep and then pop up. So, right. So, no, I like it. You guys can be up. Oh, gotcha. We do double. You guys can also do like where you guys walk up. Yes, up, back, up. Yeah, like that. So.
Is that more plank or down dog?
Down dog.
Or down dog.
You have a question? No, I was saying that. The leg is good for you. I said for part of your butt. Right, good. So when she's doing the extra rotation or the opening of the hip, what's the risk there? Right. Like what we see usually is this, right?
Yeah.
So how do I keep it set back? Yeah.
Where your hips are.
But then it's grasping and open, right? So how do I open this one? What's going to correct this? This is one. Yeah, that's where the shoulders can help, definitely. And that is part of the misalignment too, because that can go to our shoulders. Checking that they're supporting knees pointing straight forward. Okay? So square the shoulders, point your straight leg forward. There's a cues you can give as you show it. So we're going to take our leg up, open your hip, turn your toe out, make sure that forward knee still pointing forward. Let's go. Up. Yeah. So whenever you're doing a shape, look at what's the wrist, and make sure it's really protected. Awesome. That's a really great one. I love that. Okay. All right. What else do we have to do?
Downward dog push-ups.
Downward dog push-ups. Yeah.
Knees
Which one?
drops.
There's so many. This is Martina, by the way.
Hello.
She helps teach the teacher training as well, and she's zooming in with all the franchises. So, yeah. But yeah. Now, downward dog push-ups, arms wider even, and shoulders down. Another really good one. I don't do it often because it's really, really hard. When I do it a lot of times, I'll push back. If you guys want to try this one, so I'll show it first. Downward dog. And you're going to come forward into chaturanga arms. The reason this is so hard is your hips are high, so it's more weight in your arms than chaturanga. So you come forward.
Yeah.
And then push. So, depending on who's in your class and the on that one. Together dog. Right, a little closer to your head. And you have to shift forward, lean forward, but your arms are going to chaturanga. So the bigger shin is coming to the mat, but it won't touch. Arms are going to chaturanga. That's a really great one when you have like handstands. Depending on who's your class member. So what's my name? Good career. I usually do what we're doing. Down the dog push up. Awesome. Let's see if down dog.
Drop the knee and back to downward dog.
See, you like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Leave it clear in here. Yeah. Clear in here pulses. Take the twist. That's more plank though, kind of thing.
When you do the very near, it's right here. Oh, there it is. And it just comes
Oh.
more and it goes on your quads.
Oh, arms like that.
And modification of knee, that's right, having four crosses.
Yeah, that's good.
We've got the downward dog, dolphin, all the different dolphin variations, right? Dolphin presses.
Ooh.
Variation, of course, sitting on the mat, forward to back.
Twisting the hip.
Okay. So heels are together. They're coming straight down.
Oh,
And
yes.
they're
Good one,
not
Joe.
together.
That's a good one.
Very cool.
I love that.
Christina, can you demo it?
Yes. We forget. If you're attending other each other's classes, you forget, you just recite the same stuff over and over. Or you're watching YouTube videos, and that's okay too, but like, we can inspire each other so much.
Look at touchdowns.
Oh, yeah. Alternating underneath.
Yeah. Oh.
Down dog, but yeah, down dog.
In my art class, I usually get like start talking, so and then they ask me
And also any push-up variation, just
Future
change
years, I love that.
Elbows in. Like you do a lot of push-ups and planks, and you can turn it in. I like doing that a lot.
Perfect. Should we move on? Plank. Down, up, elbows. You can alternate side to side.
And you can add to that,
Really?
go like
Down,
up,
forearms.
top.
Yes. One of my favorites is holding long plank and then tap. Tap. Don't break the hips. Keep them tight. Lower body is engaged, right? Because if we're like this, if you tap.
If you down and up with a dumbbell, so here. Down, up.
Ooh.
Down, up.
Oh.
I would think you do it on knees, not use the dumbbell,
Yeah.
so then you can just tap. Use the dumbbell. Yeah.
one more time. We actually being on the right side, straight mark of your mat, walking out 4 steps into a plank, setting it up, walking it back. So I'll start with 10. Once we've done 10, go on another 10, but the next 10, walking out 1, 2, 3, 4, pass, 3, 4, whatever you want.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, that's great.
This is like chiropractic videos, but this is like one of my favorites. It's like, so you get into there, so you walk forward like opposite, and like, you just try to keep as flat as possible, and then you walk back, falling, and like opposite here to
Yeah. That's great.
Shoulders.
Ooh.
Jab with the shoulder tap.
Do you not
Nice.
have elbows now?
Shoulder taps. Yes, crossovers, totally. And then like I did last, out, in, out, in, back. Out, in.
Maybe people over that whole is. Oh, okay. And then you can like whoever's doing it, turn it to them. Okay. That would be helpful. Do you have a loads of battery? Are you? Is it charged? I think so. Yeah. Okay. It'll bring up a little thing. It's supposed to die. Oh, okay.
Totally. Hip snaps. Here, side to side. One that Lorraine does and use all the time. So I'll just give a minute right now. Right knee drops, both knee drops, left knee drops, both. Click combo. You can do 10, 10, 10, 10, or 20, 20, 20, 20, depending on the skill level of your class.
Everyone's like doing like the body fall, under one ankle, you're in plank, just pull it in and out. You can also do pulses, side to side.
And you can do all those really fast. The key is to keep it going, right? This is the first half of the class. So making sure that whatever move that you choose to do is on that beat track. You're not slowing it down.
Just make sure that you're
fast.
transitioning through the movements, because the feedback that we have been getting is we're in plank for way too long, and we're doing too many exercises in plank, and we're just overworking the shoulders in the first 5 minutes of the class. So that's a big thing that, so just use a sun salutation and transition like you've seen Jess. She was in plank and she asked you to lower the knees and then you did your fire hydrants, right? And then you went back into plank and you went back into down dog and then you did your variation there and then a variation in plank and then you dropped the knees and then, so you're just giving those shoulders a little bit of a break, but at the same time you're still in a position where you can transition back into another movement of the sun salutation. Does that make sense? Yeah. Because we don't want everyone in plank for too long and 50 mountain climbers, and after that we're going to lift the right leg for 50, then after that we're going to lift the left leg for 50, and everyone's kind of
And then we're doing very air, and
yeah,
holding plank, and then shoulder,
right? So just make sure that you're transitioning between the movements so that you're giving those shoulders. Yes.
So like runner's lunge, awesome, give the shoulders a break. Tadasana, shoulders are given a break. Even on your belly, if you want to lie down on your mat and do like cobra lifts.
Or
So
swim.
essentially what we're saying is build your warm-up off of sun salutation. But first, and that should be with no equipment, right? Just body weight, just like that. We're just trying to build consistency across the board with Fast and Furious. The bulk of your class, we're going to leave that creativity up to you, right? Because we can't say, hey, this is how you're going to teach your class for the entire hour. Otherwise, your class will get boring. Right? Yeah, so we're going to give you that creativity, but to keep that consistency where people do the class and they know that it's a Fast and Furious, we want you to start building your warm-up of the class based on a sun salutation.
That's the gold nugget is why we're pretty much here.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's like when you go to McDonald's, you have to make a burger a certain way, right? So it's part of that brand, but at the same time, knowing that we're not like saying that it has to be this way every time. Like use all of these moves that we just, there you can do any variation. And you even write up like 3 different plans and then cycle it over. And then the next month, 3 different fusion openings, cycle it over. And then the meat and the potatoes of your class is going to change all the time. And be different and uniquely to who you are.
How long should this warm up be?
So your Shavasana is about 5 minutes. I would honestly say my warm-up lasts with my Shavasana. I'm probably about, I wouldn't necessarily call the whole thing a warm-up, but me transitioning from my sun style and then doing a little cardio segment after that, probably anywhere between 28 to 25 minutes. And then from there we get into like the meat and potatoes of the class, where we're giving you the opportunity to be creative and build your class the way you want to build it. But the consistency will come if we're all being consistent and building our warm-up off the sun salutation. And everyone will know that. There's something about having that consistency and building your class that way, and everyone being in unison and that energy building in the person.
Has everybody been in a Fast and Furious class where everybody's leg lifts are on point? Put your hand up if you felt that vibration in the room. It is insane.
And as an instructor,
that's the brand. That's where I was like, what is this? This is crazy. Like this is choreographed dance, but we're working. It's like I'm in a club. In a choreographed dance with this like hot ass instructor in the front that's just like killing it, having fun. That's one of the key points here that I have down here. I've got a few words that I just want to throw at you guys. Loud, pump that music, cheeky, fun, exciting, unforgettable, and bring your personal style to it. Wherever, so knowing who you are as an individual and bringing that game into your classes. That's what the people love. That's what the members love. Yeah, my classes aren't waitlisted because I'm super fitness skilled. No way, man. Like probably half of you would have done a way better job up here fitness-wise than I could. I was like, but like, do you know what I mean? Like, bring that edge, have fun, moonwalk through the aisles. Like, that's it's great. It's so much fun. Like, get them laughing, make a joke. And like, just if you're having a good time and you're pumping in your energy, they're gonna be like, whoa, that was fun. You know, music is essential. So whatever you want to party your ass off to, like when you're in the club and you're like, oh my God, this is off the chain. Great with, of course, like explicit language. Want to keep going. Unless you're downtown. No, no, it's great. I love it. Sometimes a few words will slip and I'm just like, deal with it. But like, bring that funness, bring that music that makes you like, that you're just like, you're like, what's happening to me?
And just engaging with the room, right? Yeah. most part of my class, I am demoing. When I'm transitioning into that next move, I'll do my cues. And then I walk up and down, I call it my runway. And I'm like, yeah, keep going. And I'll do little safety cues as I walk by. And then when I know I'm doing my last 10 counts and I got to transition into the other move, I run up into the middle. And I'm like, get ready for this, let's go. And then I count them in. And we're seamlessly transitioning into one move from another. Yeah, right? So don't think that you have to stay on your mat. You shouldn't be staying on your mat.
Move around
the room, work the room.
Go in between two people that are killing it. Like you've got two people that are like, their mountain climbers are like, bam, go in between them and do it with them. The whole vibe
around the room and doing it with them.
Yeah.
So powerful.
Yeah.
I do burpees.
So
I'm like
powerful.
screaming like a banshee over here, do
Yeah.
burpees, and right over here, do burpees.
Yeah.
Just run around and then get that energy, right?
Yeah, totally. The teacher's watching, right? And that's the oxygen brand. Like that is like that fun, cheeky, outgoing, like wicked style. They want to leave being like, what just happened to me? Yeah, that was amazing. I felt like I was in a nightclub and got like a wicked workout, and I feel like I'm gonna be in bed for 3 days. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's the fun. I'm pretty sure that everybody has tried that out and knows what that feels like in your own body because you've attended those classes that have blown your mind. You're here for a reason, right? And all for different reasons, but I'm sure that you guys have felt that at one point or another. I have a question for you guys. Does everybody here teach yoga? Like, does everybody know what sun salutation is? Yeah. That occurred to me. I was like, maybe.
Some of you are just fitness certified.
And don't be shy. Is there, put your hand up if you don't know what sun salutation is. Everybody's good? Okay, good. I just had that thought. I was like, they don't know. This is your stage, move around the room, pedal it out, chair pulse like pulses, pedaling it out, holding. Think of those 3 things in your fast and furious. Holds, pedal, pulse, fast. And then safety cues while counting, which we already talked about. And then the lane just touched on, transition well, lead them there, one movement into another at a faster pace. That's what it usually is.
Does anyone have any questions? Yeah, everybody here build their warm-up off of sun salutation. If you don't, it's okay. I don't think a lot of people do, but what we're trying to do is get everyone on board.
I don't do fast and furious.
You don't teach fast and
No, I do teach fast and furious. I just don't do a warm up from sun salutation. Like I do like in Pilates or different, but I never throw it in fast and furious. In fast and furious, I always start them off the same way. We start on our backs in Shavasana. I get to bring the knees into the chest. I start warming them up, and then I go straight into core. I always start in the core just because it seems to be the easiest. And for a lot of them, because by the time I get them down to core, they can't do it anymore. Like they're done. So then I just start them that way, warm them up, and then throw them in fast and furious. They're usually like 15 minutes warmed up with core, and like their hips are open now, and now I get them up.
Yeah, totally.
And you can still do like some core on the back as part of the warm up, if you will, like some mild core, just starting to wake up the core, and then get them up to stand and do some sound.
Yeah.
And you can also include the other one of the students, did you guys finish through all the parts of the sun cell? Because you can still do core like as you're flowing the sun cell, you can come down and do back core here. You can roll over and do some core and come back
I always
over.
do like I'll take them to like plank, and I do like the mat levers, so pulsing out and plank, and then I'll do like I call them rainbows, and then we call them like the side to side. So I do those. I'll get them to do let's do like lay on their side, holding the weight, and bring it up.
Yes.
Here, but I never started it ever. So I don't think I've ever started a fast and furious.
And that's why we're here, because the consistency is there. And this is the ground.
Like even when you're taught, I don't think like I know that the lane will always when you learn from you, you're like, but I took my fitness like outside or so just always start everything with core. Well, not everything, but that specific class.
Like, I usually like to start them off with the sun sal, or exercises transitioning from my sun salutation. And then from there we do a little bit of cardio, and then from there we go into the meat of my class. So however way I wanted to format my class today. Making sure that I'm working the entire body. Just because I want to do arms that day doesn't mean that the whole class has to be arms, right? So I'm giving them a full body workout, and then usually once I take them down, I take them down. And then once they're down, they know the end is good. I can't stress enough how much sometimes you hear a lot of people are going up, down. Okay, we're gonna do core, we're gonna do 50 crunches, and we're gonna come up and we're gonna do 15 burpees. And you're 30, 35 minutes maybe into your class, the humidity is up. Everyone's exhausted and everyone's kind of jumping with flags. So I kind of like to follow that format. In your sun style, yeah, you are going up and down a little bit, right? But it's the beginning of your class, right? And you're transitioning in a different way. And then we have our standing series, and then from there, we have our little mat series, and then it's Shavasana. That's how I do all my classes, right? Just because I don't like to bring everything up. It's just very unsafe. We had a question over here.
It's more like a point of something that I like to see when my instructors are doing it is, again, kind of touching base on what Lillian said, is just be mindful that whether you're starting with legs and then working your way up, or starting with arms and working your way down, there should be some consistency, starting from one end of the body to the other. Whereas when you're doing arms, legs, core, and getting that confusion, that's where people seem to find that struggle. They want to be able to start from the bottom and know, okay, we're starting with arms, we're going to do shoulders, then we're going to do chest, then we're going to do core, then we're going to, so on and so forth.
And people always give up. Like if you're all over the place, then people are too tired and giving up. Yeah. Because like you said earlier, like if you're doing too much shoulders, then you're gonna tell them to do something else with arms, but they're just gonna give up their shoulders.
Yeah. I usually go from shoulders, then I'll transition into a leg movement. Right? So, and I like to transition really quickly when I'm doing a class with you. So say we're standing still, we're going to shoulder press. Okay, up, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, whatever. Or we're count like that. Then I would say arms on beside you, step the left foot back, and then we would go into a lunge. And then come forward, roll the shoulders back, and then we come into a row. And it's happening really quickly, right? And then we can stand up tall, and then we'll step the right foot back, and then come into a lunge. If that makes sense, right?
By doing it that way, she gets the shoulders a break, while she works the legs, and comes back with the shoulders again, the legs get a break. And so
But I always,
muscle fatigue is obviously want to do too much in one group, we get muscle fatigue, we go to alignment, that's what that injuries.
and I'm always trying to think ahead. Like, if I'm gonna shoulder press, what movement can I do? Well, I don't have to pause the class and say stop, and I can transition seamlessly into another movement, which would be lower body. Right now, that does come with experience. Like, if you're just a new instructor, there's so many things going through your mind. I get it. I didn't teach like that in the beginning. It was no way, all over the place. And I'd be counting, and I'd look at someone and be like, where are we at? Because I tried to add in a safety cue, and I'm like, I have no clue where we're at. But it comes with experience, and once you start getting the hang of your counting, you'll start to cue with the count, and maybe you'll sing out that cue a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, keep that beat.
Oh, I have this chick's style.
You know,
She's like rapping in her classes. So much fun.
Yeah, but just making sure that with fusion, it's very fast paced, so your movements are seamless. One movement is transitioning from another, and not overworking one body part. You're gonna do squats, and you're gonna do lunges, and you're gonna do jump lunges, and then my cardio versus my jump squats. Yeah, right? So all you have to think is upper body, lower body, upper body, lower body, upper body, lower body, throughout your entire class.
Too, like, it's important to, in the beginning, when you're like, your Shavasana, and then you're saying, okay, we're gonna get into our warm-up. Our warm-up is full body, and it is fast. It's like fast paced. Because I find that sometimes aren't used to, especially if you're newer, they've gone to other studios, and it's not so very consistent.
Yes.
And they come to yours, and they're like, what was that? And you're like, that was
That's what that's like. I've had that so much.
And that's just the warm-up.
exactly.
Yeah, that's a warm up.
Yes.
And also now it's important more than ever to keep the formatting of the class when we are growing bigger and bigger all over the Canada. So if somebody from Toronto is going to come to Vancouver for a business trip, they're going to take a Fast and Furious. It must be a Fast and Furious. Yeah. Otherwise, they're going to be like, what? I came to Oxygen. This is not Oxygen. Yeah. Right? So now it's more important than ever to stay with the format.
And what's happening now, and it's not your fault, is you're going into a studio and you're teaching Fast and Furious a certain way to their expectations, and you're thinking, okay, this is right, and then you're going into another studio and their expectations are completely different, and you're like, what am I doing wrong here? So it's a little bit confusing for you guys, which isn't your fault. As instructors and owners, everybody needs to be really consistent with the brand and how we teach. So if we all kind of get on board
And
it works, guys. Like this formatting, like Oxygen, I think one of the many reasons why Save has gotten so big and why there's so many locations and so many instructors that are quitting their jobs being included to teach full time is because it works. It's fun. Like it's like this for a reason. We're not just saying do this because we just want to do this. Like we're actually giving you the tools and the knowledge here to like really beef up your class. Like this shit works. 130, 40 beats per minute, leading them into it, transitioning fun, building off of the sun cell. It's fun. Try it. Like see if it makes a difference in the vibration in the room.
Like when people are nodding their heads on the water break.
Yes.
That's the best feeling ever.
Yes.
So you see the water break and they're still moving.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, like the first probably 15 minutes of my class, including my warm-up that's built off my sun salutation, it changes a little bit. I tweak it out day by day, but it's pretty consistent and it's pretty similar. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? And there's nothing wrong with the first 15 minutes of your class with everybody knowing what to expect and everybody being together. And the energy rises, right? And they love it. And it takes 15 minutes out of your class and out of your brain if you haven't done that. Yeah. Right? And you can kind of point the next. Because there's a lot of pressure with that. I get it. Like some of you might be teaching, I don't know, 5 days a week. Some of you might be teaching at the same studio 2 weeks in a row. And maybe it's the same class and you're getting a following. And it's the same people coming to your class. So I get it, you've got to keep it fresh. Right? But there's nothing wrong with you having that similar warm-up every day. Just tweaking it out, just a little bit.
And you just saw a whole bunch of
keeping it, yes. Keeping it a little bit different.
And Elaine is gonna lead us through one more Fast and Furious to just kind of like solidify everything that we just at least went through here.
Oh, so how is everybody, does everybody make their own playlists? Is everybody making sure that when they have their playlists ready for class, that it's one consistent beat throughout the entire time? Because there's no other buzz killer than you doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The music changes 7, 8, 9, 10. And you're crunching and you're like, okay, and then it speeds up again.
Yeah.
Right? So is everybody just being mindful that they're sourcing their music and it's all one steady beat the entire time?
And are you making sure that your Fast and Furious are 130 per minute?
Because it does matter.
They need to be.
They must be.
Does everybody know? Everybody knows what beats per minute is, right? So some really good places that you can get music is, if you're super into house, Fit Beats is an amazing one. If you really like that. And then if you like current music, there's always Steady 130s or steadymixes.com. And you can pick by genre, so there's, you want to run your classic rock music, reggae. Fit Beats, FITBEATZ. So that's a website, and they come out with a new mix every single week. There is an annoying lady that every once in a while she'll be like, Fit Beats.
Steady 130.
Yeah.
Steady 130 is on SoundCloud. You download SoundCloud is there.
There's also on Spotify, there's a way, to cross-save your songs. So if you have a playlist, go into your settings, you can cross-save and set it for like 5 seconds, 8 seconds, each will fade into the next and they'll cross. So there's no stop.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. You need to show me that.
Just with Google songs, like I always when I make my playlist, I just like don't check it. I just Google like the song and then like check beat per minute. You can actually just go online and it'll tell you how fast.
Yeah.
Awesome. If you can't, don't forget. Yeah.
Benefit Radio.
Should we run through counting? Okay. So we're all going to count together.
Yeah.
So we'll start off with a 130 beat. It's not just and then like a 20. Okay. So I'll count okay, so let's count first. Show of hands, who's comfortable counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah? No? Yes? Hands? Okay. All right, let's start. I'll count you guys in. We'll go to 100,
And then we'll count down 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready? Here we go. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That was at 1:30.
That's at 1:30. Do you have a 140 track on you that you know of?
I have a 1:30.
The magic ball. Amazon.
That was actually 140.
Never mind, that was 1:40.
So I'll drop it down to, let me drop it down to 136. Are we all together? This is a 130. The previous one was a 140. Listening. Okay, the first one we did was a 140, so we're going to drop it down to 130. Kind of give you reference. Okay, okay, you guys ready? 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Like a tone and swell. It's a little bit.
Find me. Find me.
Ready? 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3, 4, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 7, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So does everyone ever get confused? So you're going from a pulsing movement, and then you go into, so you're pulsing, you're in a runner's lunge. And so you're just pulsing that back. And then after that, you want to just drop the back knee down just to do a regular lunge. Does anyone get confused how to transition from that movement to another? So if you were to play that beat,
Like, does, when everyone's doing the runner's lunge, do they add the movement in, like what Christina was saying, if you turn it up? 5, 6, 7, 8, down, up, 7, 5,
So I'm just transitioning one movement into another. Because what I'm seeing sometimes is people will do bicep curls and they'll try to do a single count with the beat, right? Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Really, that's not doing anything. You should be adding the movement in, right? Curl and down, up and down, 2 and down, right? Does that make sense?
What's the BPM on this one?
I think this is probably about 125, maybe 120. Right? And I know a lot of people, when you're transitioning, we all get confused, like, oh no, what am I doing? Just add the movement in when you're squatting. Down and up, 2 and up, right? Make sense?
So when you're doing a full range of motion, so a full squat down and up, or a full bicep curl up and down, a full range of motion, you would probably need the half tempo of the beat.
Yeah.
And then when you're doing a pulse or smaller movement, it would be
And when you do have tempo, it's so much easier to add the cues. Down and up. Down, squeeze the glute to the top. You know what I mean?
Yeah, instead of saying a number,
Keep a cue. Down and up. Keep your chest tight and up. Like that's how I do that, right?
you're almost singing it. It becomes like a,
I'm singing
like
it.
a yeah, choreograph.
Yeah.
You're singing.
Like once in a while, you do sound a little Jane Fonda, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can, if you can get into two things, that beat though, like you get into that beat, you don't be like,
And then you're like, oh, okay, that was it. And then
Yeah.
It's part of the reason.
do it that way. I don't lose.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why I count an 8 sometimes, because then I won't lose my count. If I'm counting the 8s on the music and I'm changing in the process, I can count, okay, that's 4 8s. I can count 4 8s in my head, so I just know I hit 4 1s.
Yeah.
And so that way I can check that. I don't know that I necessarily did 32 or whatever, 40.
Right.
But I just count the 4 1s, it's 4 8s. Okay, it's 4 8s on this side, and I do 4 8s on the other side.
if you guys can use it to your studios to get in headsets, it makes it a lot easier on your voices. Headsets are awesome. You can throw in more cues, you're not gassed.
I like streaming.
Like, just we want loud, pump that music up, right? And then to show over that, you have to all the cues and counting, like depletes your energy. So talk to your studio owners, see if they can get headsets. It'll save your vocal cords and it'll improve the quality of your classes.
Honestly, we have one in Algebra and I hate it.
Oh, really?
I like that. I'm like, you can get the door and you can stay there.
It's not for
You
everyone.
got a loud voice though.
Yeah.
It is in the best way.
And Jacob, he's old.
I kind of just kind of made my own way with full body conditioning. I kind of like head workout, so I'll do like cycles and cardio and then cycle again and cardio, and then music exercises and cardio. Like, what is the format for a full body conditioning? So don't me be like,
Okay, great. So this is really great. This is something I was going to address a little later. I wanted to chat. Has everybody seen or does everybody have a copy of our class formatting workbook? Did you just so we know and I'll touch on that. But I wanted to touch like there's some people who haven't seen it. Okay, so we do have a class formatting workbook. As for studio owners, they have access to it. I can also as well, I'll send you one. I'll send you one on online. So we do have a class formatting workbook, which you should get from all of your owners. If you don't, let me know, and I will definitely send it all to you. But it has a sample format, similar to the one I just gave you, because that's going to be class. It has that for every single class that we offer Oxygen. So it has the description that will be on the website. It has the format example or explanation for you, props that you might use, and then just a sample class. So for example, our active period sample class in there does start with sun salutations and variations of sun salutations. And so the sample format there, it's not that you have to teach that exact class, it's just to give you an idea of what that class would look like.
so like, am I doing like, I'm not like, I'm involving more cardio in it then?
in the total body conditioning.
Yeah.
So there's actually a very set format to that, and there is some cardio. It's meant to be three strength, three cardio, three strength, three cardio, three strength, three cardio.
That's kind of how I do it, but I kind of just guess.
Yeah.
I do like working like the hit workouts, so you can do and stuff. I kind of format it around that sense.
It is similar.
Where you hit like every body part, you get your cardio, you get your arms, like everything, but it's not quite as fast and furious. It's more slow, controlled, tighter movement.
Correct.
So it has to be like.
Yeah, and you're right as far as the energy of it, that it wouldn't be crazy like a Fast and Furious. And like this is the 3, 3, 3, 3, and it also starts from the top of the body and goes down. And then, and that's another thing to be mindful of. If it says fusion in the title, that means it's going to be this crazy music, right? So like Tone Salt, as they were doing, it's the music that was like 120 or 125, the slower beat. It wasn't the 130 or the 140. So if it says fusion, it's 130, 140. It's that crazy dance on your mat, high energy. It doesn't say fusion in the title. It might be a little bit so like Tone Salt would be more curls. It'll still be hard.
Yeah.
Tone Salt goes slow and total body conditioning hard, but it won't be that like, woo, ready to go.
Yeah. Okay. You wouldn't do bicycles. Maybe pulses. Or pulses, but like not like a full.
In the body.
Yeah. In the body. Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Yeah. So please, as you leave, talk to me. I'll make
That book is
a
amazing.
list of everybody that I need to send it to, and I'll send it to you. And obviously, this new class that we're going to go over in a little bit will be added to the book, so there'll now be a new book on the portal available to owners. So you can have them about that as well. And sending that out to you.
It's a really good book for you to have, especially if you're working with a company, right? If you're ever subbing for a class and you've never taught this class before, you can just flip through the book as a reference, and it just gives you a guideline.
And as a new teacher, you can teach that sample class, right? It gives you a class to teach there, first time at least, and then play from there.
Still waiting to teach Broga.
Yeah.
I teach Broga.
Teach what?
Broga.
Does anybody have any questions?
I think it's an omnia.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Broga.
Okay.
Yeah. That's all they
You guys should run a Google workshop. Talk about that. See that. It's awesome. Any questions?
How do I get my voice as loud as the wings?
Sorry?
How do I get my voice as loud as the wings?
My voice, I ruined my voice. I didn't really take care of it, so that's why I brought the headsets. Yeah. So it sounds like this because it's.
But I like
it's
that
so
raspy.
raspy.
Yeah, the same thing happens to me, and I have to cut my pauses down.
Yeah.
I have permanent nodules in my vocal cords.
Right.
From not using headsets and being crazy in my classes.
And I'm the type of person that likes to
Be
like,
careful.
I get noise complaints every day, and I really don't care.
Yeah.
But I can project my voice over like high bass, and then finally I just that's enough. I'm not tuning down the music. I'll just get a headset. And it's helped me a lot because I used to leave classes with a pounding headache just from screaming so loud. But the headsets have suited my life. I'm not turning down the bass.
No way, man.
Gotta keep it loud. Yeah, and the energy going.
Hey, any other questions before we get moving a little bit more? Do you guys have any like good websites or anything that you source some of your like information or new stuff, new moves for the rest of your meat and potatoes of the class, the Fast and Furious?
Honestly, I get a lot of inspiration from like Facebook, Instagram,
Yeah.
and then like YouTube videos.
Yeah.
So like I'll type in bar class.
Like a lot of it has to do with coming prepared and doing your research, and coming in with a plan and executing that plan. People will know if you're winging it. When you're coming in and you're just kind of like, oh, what am I doing? I think we're gonna do this today. You gotta, maybe your whole class isn't planned out. I don't plan out my entire class, but I've got a pretty good idea. And most days I have moves that I have jotted down. that I want to do, or something that I've seen, or where I'm at a workshop like this, and you guys have shared a bunch of your moves with me, guarantee that all these moves are going to be in my next fusion class. But I'm constantly online. I have to get more into the habit of going to other people's classes. There's nothing wrong with me going into other people's classes and being inspired. If you go through a little bit of a rut and say, hey, I want to check out Jessica's class. We're not into this, hey, you stole my move, that move was yours. You didn't create a runner's lunch, that's not yours.
Yeah, we're sharing. We're
So,
And a lot of it's just playing, like going into for your classes and just grab a bunch of props and mess around, right? You know, have you ever been in class, like teaching class, and sometimes it happens to me when I'm teaching, which is the worst, but you're doing something, you're like, oh, I could do that right there, that would be really cool. You have that moment of inspiration, but you're in the middle of the class, and then by the end of the class, you know what the problem was.
yeah.
Or as a new teacher, what I used to do is throw it into the class and realize it didn't help whatsoever.
Yeah, you're like, that's not working.
It's from I was tempted to say, but like, if you're inspired in a moment to just do something completely random, do it. Like see if it works.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. Like you could but like a lot of the time, like if you're flowing and if you're like as a later teacher too, like I would say the first 6 months or so, absolutely play on your mat quite a bit and see what works. But as you become an experienced instructor, you kind of like know the functions of the body and like how you like the rotation through your shoulders, so you're not gonna like throw someone completely out of alignment. Of course, when you keep them safe first and foremost. But like try new things that like just inspires you.
And just try it before your class, because I've done it before where I've seen a move and I'm like, I'm gonna do that, and I do it in class and I'm like, this is not working.
You don't know how to do it, you don't know how to say it. Yeah. And so, part of what I was saying is, if you get there early and play on your mat, we're trying to recreate those moments that you have in class, right? It's just like fool around, just start moving and see what happens. And you'll be like, oh, that doesn't work, or this is cool, and you'll kind of re-inspire yourself a little bit.
Like I know a rule for myself is I can probably only combine 2 moves together. If I do any more than that, I get really confused and I can't cue it. So that's just my rule of thumb. We're only combining 2 moves together. Like if you were gonna do a squat to a shoulder press, right? Squat to a shoulder press. Maybe I'll add in a triceps extension, but if I try and add something else, my coordination isn't that great. And I just want to make sure that everybody in my class can follow. I've seen some instructors that try and do like super crazy stuff, and I'm just like, not everybody in this room is going to follow. And I'm really aware of who's in my class, right? So a couple of days before, I'm already looking. And if I know that there's new people, I make sure that I'm aware of them. And that I'm on top of my cueing. I know that I'm getting modifications because there's new people.
I have a question. Sure. I teach a lot of early morning classes, like I teach almost all the early morning classes in on the growth. We have a lot of older ladies that come. And so it pisses off a lot of the younger students that come by directing it more to the older ladies, because they're like, I'd say 90% of my class is 60 plus at 5:45 in the morning.
I would just give more variations, right? Offer more variations.
I do offer like a big variation when they want more cardio. It's where like the older ladies are like, so I'm trying to like bring it down to where like everybody can do it. But
I always tell everybody, you know what, if there's people that need to modify and we're doing a cardio movement, I'll say if you can't keep up, I won't even say that. If you have to go at your own tempo, feel free to go at your own tempo. Just keep that body moving. That's what I say.
Yeah. Just give them the option to walk it out.
Yeah.
Just walk on their mat if you're doing like tough jumps, you know?
Yeah.
Obviously you want to do a ton if most of your people are that age range. But if you wanted to throw in 5 tuck jumps, right? And you can have everybody doing fast feet and then option to walk.
Yeah.
Or we're gonna do 5 tuck jumps. Right?
Yeah.
And so then the younger people have that option, and then the others here or walk.
Yeah.
Right? It's just
in the morning, you don't know who all is coming to your class. Like, I get there and then 15 minutes to get everything set up, and in my class at 5:45 in the morning. You don't get a chance to like visually go over and know exactly the age of everybody. So you have a plan in your head, and you're like walking, you're like, this is my plan, and you're like, oh, but I'll try to offer with something else, but it's still like you still kind of get this like every once in a while. I don't know. Some of the ladies that come are like 75.
Yeah.
Good for them, right?
There's always
And I know we're all doing we all do a good job of that, because, oh, always, I feel like I'm on the record, but always reiterating that it's your own thing, trust your owner, teach your over and above what I say, sometimes we just say that and really make it a safe space for you to take those options.
Yeah.
I think that's helpful. The other thing I do, mine's a little reversed. I'll say, I do a pretty long set here, because some people have been coming for a long time, I'm really sure everyone gets a challenge, but always feel free to rest. If you haven't been coming for a while, or you didn't sleep well last night, you had too much wine, then take a break in the middle of the rest, in the middle of the set, and pick it back up when you're ready. And what I can give a longer set, so that the people who can do that are good, and the other people take 2 or 3 breaks in the middle.
I think people just feel pressured because like they're watching everybody else. And if you just tell them like, hey, drop the weights and just use like the tension in your body, then like they'll be fine. It's just they're looking at everyone like, I can't drop the weight. What am I gonna do?
I
Right?
think that's
Like you dropping yourself.
Yeah,
I think that's a huge thing in oxygen too, is the fasting period is fast and experience. A lot of people get intimidated to come. The most important is safety. The second most important is honestly drop the weight. Don't compromise. If you're going like this and you're constantly like, don't compromise.
Yeah.
It has to be safe. Second of all, you're in a heated environment. People always let their egos. I mean, it's just ego. Oh, well, look at her in the tight pants. I gotta look like her. It's like, oh my God, no. Like, leave that outside and just do the best.
And that's what Shavasana is really good for as you're opening for your fitness classes. One of the key things that you can get them to do is tune into themselves.
Yeah.
I always say at the beginning of all of my classes, honor where you are within your own personal practice. It's my job to push you. It's your job to know where your edge is. So take any of those modifications that I offer you, know your body, listen to your body, and flow with what's working best in your practice today. Like using that as an opportunity to get them to just like leave all that crap at the door. I'll even say, inhale light and love, exhale ego. Inhale the present moment, exhale expectations of yourself. Be here. So Shavasana is a great way of starting that, and then you can remind them of the class as well.
You know what, and honestly, in most of my fusion classes, I usually just do the level 1 option because I'm teaching and I'll show what we're supposed to do level 1, 2, 3 fast. But I'm too busy queuing. And if I do have people that are option 1 is what we try to say, I like to stick with them so that they know, you know what I mean? I've got nothing to prove up there. So I'm like, I'm level 1. You know what I mean?
At least they do their own thing.
They like it.
They'll get their workout in.
That hey, the instructors. Yeah, I don't even.
So the instructor like I barely use this. Yeah.
Fit person in the room feels the most
Or those blue
comfortable.
balls. Yeah.
That's what I always do. I don't use weights because I want the least fit person to feel
That's how I feel.
comfortable.
Yeah.
She's the lightest weight.
Well said.
Thanks for saying that. Yeah, that's important.
It's very important. It's inclusive. They're coming there for you, for your energy and what you can bring. But I mean, you could be, obviously, you're working out, you're teaching the class, you're fit.
Yeah.
If they're constantly trying to be you and you are not on a pedestal, there's some yoga teachers and instructors that they think they're way up here. We are not.
No.
We are all
Your main
here.
goal
We're all in the
is,
same. Yeah.
your main goal is to leave with people leaving like they're feeling great and energized. You never ever want anyone leaving your class feeling defeated.
No.
Never ever. That's the last thing that you want. You want everyone to feel great and be like, that was awesome, I'm gonna come back. And that's how everybody feels about oxygen in our classes. It's really awesome and inspiring because we have a culture. Like we've grown so huge and everyone, talks, and once they get into our place, like I want that hoodie. Everybody wants to rock this oxygen culture. And it's really amazing what we have going here. And it's all thanks to our instructors, right?
You guys.
Yeah.
Could not do without you.
So keep doing what you're doing. That was awesome. Yeah. Kudos.
I'm the only one.
Can I think about that? Sorry. One other thing, so just about this whole idea, them going at their own pace. So part of it is us talking about it, right? When we went into Shavasana, like vocalizing it. One thing I say a lot of times is it's very confrontational inside you, because I know what that's like. I've come back from 2 surgeries where I had to rebuild my whole practice, and it's very confrontational when you're like, you're doing that, I used to be able to do that, and it's confrontational to say, no, I have to do trials first.
inside myself. So I say that, and I know what that feels like to have that confrontation inside yourself. Oh, I can't drop my weights. And so as vocalizing and really talking about it and making that that's not something that's kind of pushed on the target. And then the other thing is that we need by example. Right? That we're okay with it too. When you're taking a class, rest. If you need your freaking rest. Right? And they're like, oh, the teacher's resting. Oh, the teacher dropped her weight. Oh, the teacher, so and lead by example. You say those hypertrophies on your body, you have to do it.
Yeah, I know that somebody that came into the class and was like, this is level 1, 2, and 3. I'm like, well, it is, and that's why I kept telling you, this is too much to put your weight down. That's why I came over to you and actually put my weight down with you and showed you how to do without weight. She's like, but nobody else put their weight down. I'm like, yeah, but they've been coming for a long time. This is the first time you've done this class, and it's fine, put your weight down. And she's like, I didn't want to. And I'm like, but then how are you blaming me saying it's not level 1, 2, 3? If in your own head you didn't want to put your weight down. So at the end of the day, how do you not? I know that so how do I word this? How do you get them to listen?
So, by example, talk about it, mindful of what you're saying and how you're saying it. You're not saying that something that sounds like, if you need to, or if you have an issue with the drop your weights. Be mindful of how you're saying it, because that's all you can control. Right? Your thoughts, words, and actions. I always say do your best, forget the rest. I literally probably say that 20 every single class. Do your best, forget the rest. Nothing else matters, as long as they're doing their best. And then after the class, you high five them. Did you give your best? Did you get the best? That's it. Because if you gave your best, then you're accountable for you. They're accountable for them.
Well, what I say, and I think it's working, it's like, look how long your body was that way. It takes time to build it back up, at least half of the time, if you work hard. Especially like with deep stretch or something, and they're pulling, and I'm like, stop it. It takes time. Be patient, right?
Any other questions before we?
So let's read it. People, before you read it, can I just have one? Okay, I don't know if you guys have seen those, they're pop sockets, but we're not allowed to call them pop sockets. We have to call them O2 pops because I got an infringement letter from the lawyer. So these are for the back of your phone. Yeah. You're welcome.
You can get the card on it too. Now I get a blue one.
You're welcome. Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Okay. Let's play a game. Okay. Where was the first location?
Maple Ridge. Oh, damn it.
Flat. Flat.
Is the one that was small?
These two are small.
Small, flat. Perfect.
Okay. What was the second franchise that we sold? Not the first one that I sold.
Langley.
No.
No, not Vancouver. Langley or not Vancouver.
What location does?
What?
We just had a. Oh, okay, I'm so sorry. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, next question. Yes, number 1 and 50.
48.
47. 5. 37.
What did you say?
27.
Okay, last. Those lazy days. How many locations are sold at this time?
Over 75.
72.
53.
It's between 70 and 80. Okay, I just want to thank you all for coming, and I hope you guys enjoyed a lot of this. And if you have any questions or anything, like always feel free to reach out to me or these ladies. They're amazing. Thanks, guys. All right, standing at the top of your mouth, now. Big gold round stretching like we should be up on the board. Inhale, muscles are touching to expand that in your practice. Exhale, forward flow. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step things over, kicking off. Inhale, like the up dog. Taking the chaturanga. Inhale, one, harder, heel back. Ready? 5, 6, 7, and 1. 5, 10, and 2. Nice. And 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 4. Here's 5. 6. Nice, 9. 7. Here's 8. And 9. That's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Trying to stay alive and take care of my people. And they don't have no go. And they don't have no she don't come with trouble. They know why. Back
Hi everyone. I'm gonna screen share the format, and then it'll be available to you via your owners. Give me a moment. Okay. So can everyone give me a thumbs up if you can see the format? Awesome. Yay, great. Yeah, so this will be available via your owners soon. They'll send it out in the newsletter on Friday to the owners. So then the owners will give it to you after that. All right. Okay. Let's start it again. So we're going to go over our new format, one class. It's pretty basic. So, hot booty camp. All of us. You grab that. It's a fitness class.
Are you hungry, honey?
So hot booty camp. See this we'll have online. So expect an entire lower body workout where we will focus on glutes, thighs, calves, and everything in between. Combining a mix of controlled pulses, bar fitness style, to full muscle engagement, so lunges, squats, boot camp style, to sculpt long, lean muscles. It's a 1 hour class. So it's basically a mix of our booty, absolutely burning butts, and the lean, mean legs. So all our hips and everything down. So toning the lower body.
You're a girl?
So the format for us as instructors, this class includes a warm-up, a small amount of cardiovascular training, not as much as fast and furious.
I'm in a training right now from 1:45 to 5:45. Remember?
Sorry.
So yeah,
And I can hear them. They can't hear me.
short relaxation at the end.
It's like a video thing.
Conditioning the hips, glutes, and legs. For strength training, be sure to include static holds, small pulses, and full range of motion to work the muscles efficiently and effectively. Of course, always offering modifications, alternate intensity, and alignment cues.
Oh, well, that's why I was like rushed out there because I'm trying to watch this thing. I don't know. You were gonna be like, I thought you were gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna get rained on. So you're gonna this is your help. You ask,
Be creative, so you can use
ask for help. I'm not helping you.
a lot of weights and dumbbells, but you can use anything and everything. And then there's the example class. So again, this is just an example. You don't have to teach this exact class. You can if you want, but you don't have to. So introduction warm-up. We'll stick to the oxygen formatting. So starting in Shavasana and then doing a few warm-up stretches. So you can do like a supine spinal twist, of course, happy baby, supine hamstring stretch, legs up, cow face legs. So I think some people call that mermaid tail, right? Quick little note on that, just while we're on it. Is that what people call it? Some people are calling it mermaid tail. Whale's tail, that's right.
Makes more sense.
Yeah. Cow face legs. A little note on that, just since we're on it, but cow face pose in yoga?
No, I mean,
Oh.
just like, why is it called?
So in yoga, cow face pose, what it's supposed to look like is this is meant to be the mouth of a cow, and these are his floppy ears.
Oh,
That's what they call it, cow face. And of course, the cow is sacred in India, so that makes a lot of sense. Cool. So anyways, cow face legs. Real quick note on that when we're doing that. If you're doing that supine here, please be sure you're not pulling on the feet. So I'm seeing a lot of this and not cueing as an instructor that we should be grabbing on the shin or the ankle. What happens if we draw on the foot, you can see if I pull on my foot, it starts to rotate my shin bone, right? And it starts to rotate into our knee joint. So to make sure that the two bones line up straight on, so they're hinge joints. Once I start doing that, I start doing a rotation in the knee joint. So side little note. But just as a teacher, I always cue flexing of the feet and grabbing a hold of the ankles. So we grab a hold of the foot, we pull, and then it starts to go into the knee joint. Side little note. So a few different examples of warm-ups. You can also bring them up to standing, do some high knees, some jumping jacks, some ankle cross. The reason I put the ankle cross one in here as an example is just because it gets into the inner thigh, which we don't get into the inner thighs a lot, so it's helpful to get into the inner thigh a little bit. Butt kicks, of course, getting into our hamstrings. So that's our introduction warm-up. And then body of the class. Goddess squats with weights, obviously option to not use weights. And then, as it said in the format, using that mixture of static holds, pulses, and full range of motion. So in the goddess squat, in this particular example, we hold the squat for 30 seconds, then full range of motion up and down for 10. And of course, modify the reps according to your client base. Pulses at the bottom for 50, and then pulses with the right heel lifted, pulses with the left heel lifted, then full range of motion again for 10, and then hold again for 30. So we did hold, full range of motion, pulses, full range of motion, hold. But you don't have to do it in that way, but that's just the way I structured the example. And then full range of motion, hold, and then we went into high knees and butt kicks and some jumpies both. I'm doing 2 sets of that. Water break. Lunges, we did the same sort of thing. So we hold static in the right side lunge, full range of motion, 10 to 20 or so up and down, then pulses, then again full range of motion, and then hold in the lunge again. So we did the same kind of format we did before. Static, full range of motion, pulses, full range of motion, static. And then some pop squats for 30. Yeah, it's a squat.
Oh, okay.
And then we did the same thing on the left side, 3 sets, again dependent on time, using weights or not using weights. And then water, and then goddess squat jumps, so X jumps, right, goddess squat jumping up. Goddess squat, jump up into an X. And I always also offer for more intensity from the cross. That's for ballet. Chanjamats. But yeah, so those are the goddess squats. And then chair pulse with the Pilates ball. So this way, by using the Pilates ball, we move our thighs. So again, hold, full range of motion, pulses at the bottom, then squeeze the ball, full range of motion, hold in chair for 30, and then again, our goddess squat jumps. Sorry, ladies, moving it for you. And sorry for this gentleman watching. I just only see 3 ladies' faces. Lunges, goddess squats. There we are. All right, so this next little section, I thought I'd show you this. So after the goddess squat chair part there, this next little bit, I think this is just trying to get into the hip in different ways, because a lot of times we don't get into the hip flexor. Obviously, hip flexors for most of us, for most people who are sitting all day, are tight and deep. So not only do we stretch them, but we also want to work them a little bit as well. So the first one there is just leg out in front, holding. Right? Obviously, it can be bent knee, shorten the lever, be less intense, hold, and then pulses. So that's the first one, straight out in front. So we're working the hip flexor, the front of the hip. Obviously the quad as well, if you're doing straight leg. And then we do the side. So this is glute med, really good, that we don't get into a lot. So forward fold with your hands on the floor and block. So you can leg out, hold, and then pulses up there. So it's the same glute med, same thing with the fire. But just different variations. So stick your leg out and hold. So that's the forward fold with the hands on the floor. And then I went into jumping lizards. So stepping 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, jumping. Oh, those are so exhausting. So exhausting. Those are exhausting. Yeah. So 20 of those, and then downward dog, and then top. So by going through that route, we did hip flexor, front of the hip, we did side hip, and then we did a little bit of cardio, working the legs, and then we did back of the hip, the glutes and the hamstrings by doing down the dog lifts. So that way we worked around the whole hip joint. So, and then on the left leg, of course. And the last one there is the bridge with the weight on the pelvis, just 2 different variations. Still the same thing, full range of motion, static hold, and then some pulses. The first option is with the leg in neutral. So here, a regular bridge. And the second one's going to get into our gluteus maximus more, our external rotation in the hip joint. So turning out in the hip joint, up on the heels here. So that's the second variation. So that
For that external rotation in the hip joint, you have to engage really maximus the higher fibers, like externally rotating and hitting the higher fibers of the butt, the lifted butt. Cool. It's a pretty simple class, pretty basic, right? We're working the hip, legs, some other things you can put in there, of course, is some calf raises. So I did that with the goddess squat, just lifting one heel on the other. But of course, you can go to the wall and do calf raises on a block. You chair sit at the wall if you've got kind of wall space and all that. So a lot of different options we can put there. And then the closing. So again, a few closing stretches, ending in Shavasana. I did low lunge and Ardha Hanumanasana on purpose because we want to stretch what we just worked, right? So low lunge, we'll stretch our hip flexor, and we'll stretch the back of the hip, right? We're getting into both of those, and then by getting into happy baby, I get into the turn on and the external rotation. So we get to stretch the same muscles that we just worked. Yeah. Pretty basic class, right? So it doesn't say fusion. So it doesn't necessarily have to be that high, fast speed. It could be like 120, 125. We'll be doing lunges with weights. So it will be, it is, yeah, power class. The challenges mostly for this one is to get into those parts of the hip or the leg that we don't get into much, which would be mostly groin, inner thigh. We don't do a lot of this movement, and hip flexor, right? But please make sure if you're working the hip flexor in that class that you also stretch it, because it does, we do need both, and most of our people sitting all day, their hip flexors are going to be really tight. So work it and stretch it. Really helpful, otherwise you're going to get all that anterior tilting. Lower back pain. Awesome. Any questions about this class? I know it's pretty simple.
Can I teach a boys only class?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. No questions? Okay, well, we're done early. I do want to have like a little Q&A and then a closing and a final photo. So any just general questions about really anything, teaching, formatting, anything we covered today or anything else?
No. I have one question, but only because you just came back in November from it, just for the retreat.
Yeah.
Do they have fitness equipment there? I'm teaching a fitness retreat.
I mean, ask them to get more. They did buy dumbbells for me when I was there, but because of where they are and how hard it is to get things, they were only able to get like 4 sets, and they were really light. It's just the only thing they can get their hands on.
Is this the same place that I taught?
Mm-hmm.
Go to Fitness Town and bring the bands.
I have my own residence permit, but I have like bring the people coming.
Yeah.
I was teaching fitness too. You can do it without it.
I'm just gonna try and do like more flyover, I guess.
Yeah.
And what we just did today, we used some blocks. Yeah. So,
They have blocks.
yeah.
But yeah, they have blocks on like math, but there aren't enough math for like everybody.
I would encourage everybody to bring their own mats.
Yeah.
We are in the jungle and it gets really, fungus.
Yeah.
If you leave your sandals out by the end of the week, they'll be covered. Yeah, so bring it, don't bring anything leather, bring anything plastic. So bring a cheap mat, and then leave it there, donate it to the donation place.
Yeah. There's also a railing around the yoga deck, so you can use that like a bar.
Okay.
Aww.
He's not, no. He's
No.
like, do I check in? Do the classes? I was like, yeah. Okay, this is scary.
Yeah.
I don't really know anybody else that's on.
Yeah. We can chat more after. Sure. Yeah. Good. Any other questions? Things that we're seeing or yeah.
I have 2.
Yeah. Please. Great.
One, as far as like bar classes go, 'cause I know like our studio, there's only like a couple people that teach bar. Like, is there any workshops or something? Like, I've looked up stuff, but it was like.
Yeah, there's some downtown. There are some downtown.
Well, yeah, because it's like sometimes people want subs, and I'm like, I've never seen a bar class.
I was bar certified at Full Circle Pilates downtown. I went there, and it was like a 6-hour day.
Yeah, so I was like, I don't want to go pay like $1,200 or
Yeah.
something to go be a like sub a class once in a while,
Yeah.
right? But
We're also, because the way it used to work is that owners would bring us in to teach a bar workshop.
yeah.
It hasn't been happening quite as much, but we're actually going to be holding a fitness workshop coming up, hopefully in August. There's no exact date yet, but it would include bar.
Yeah.
And swimming salt and including more boxing, yes.
Yeah, that kind of stuff would be good.
Yeah, then you get certified by us.
That'd be cool. And then the only other one was, so like hot power core, just like an example. So there's no it doesn't say fusion, so that like, how would you, so I've been to so
There's
many
no,
different ways.
yeah, so hot power core doesn't say fusion, so you don't have to have any yoga in that. You could put, so for example, I usually do lift ups, right? It's really good for your core. So you can put some yoga in it, but you don't have to. It's a fitness class. So all fitness, different groups focusing on core. Answer your question? I know that's a confusing one a lot of times. So it's a fitness class. It doesn't have to be like go.
Yeah,
I guess that's what I mean, like how,
Yeah.
not as fast as Fast and Furious, but
Yeah.
Like when I teach a power core, I found that class really, just for my brain, really difficult to teach.
Mhm.
Just because I would always just think it's a full hour of
you can't do a
core.
full hour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what I
Yeah.
do now, what I do now is I break it up into the Dhamma Shavasana, and then I do a standing core series, right? And then I do, and I blend a little bit of cardio into there. And then when we get onto our mats, I always make sure that I'm rotating. So if I did a core movement that was in plank, my next movement will be something that's on my back. And then, so I take them from standing, then down to the mat, and then I just kind of flip them around on their mat, just so I'm not straining their necks. And then when we're in plank, I'm not in plank for too long and straining your shoulders. So I just kind of, yeah. So I do a standing series and then I do a mat series, and that's how I work it.
Do you have cardio in like?
Sometimes I do.
Like lunge, like switch lunges, like if you're down.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no
Yeah.
cardio. I mean, if you think about the point of power core is yes to strengthen your core, but also to sculpt it so you can show it. So if you're going to show it, you have to do some cardio. Right? You got to bring it back.
Because we're not doing anything if we're doing sit-ups.
That's why I signed up.
Absolutely.
People come into that class. That's kind of what they're
We give them a
working
diet
towards.
plan.
Yeah.
And I do the same. So I start in Shavasana. I do a little stretch. I do some core on the back. And then I usually come up and do some core in plank. And then down onto the belly and do some core for the back. And then I come up to standing, do a whole bunch of stuff in standing. All core different stuff. And then come back down to the mat and do more. And when I come back down the second time, a lot of times I'll do, on the back, do some side stuff, belly, here, and some side stuff, go back onto their back, right? Roll them around.
Yeah, we just roll around.
So you can, like, I usually do the standing, seated, and then plank, and then on their back.
Yeah.
Okay, like you can just like.
Yeah, think of it the same way as we do other classes in that kind of bell-shaped curve, right? You're gonna have the peak where you're standing up and you're doing some cardio type stuff, so I always do, weights here, right? And then here, right? So that's a little bit of cardio, gets the heart rate up a little bit. And then some jacks or some burpees or something like that, just another standing core, and then you come back down the other end. Down some stretches and Shavasana at the end.
Every week, and it's so hard to come up with
It is.
like all the time.
I love it.
I actually really like
Oh my gosh, which
power
part?
moves. Yeah.
Brain.
It's like my piece, like one self is my favorite. One self is it's like the best position.
Yeah. That's some good questions, yeah.
And Lillian, sorry, something I heard you say quietly up there that I kind of spoke to, but it's probably only use the bars and turning salt.
Yeah.
So that's what makes the class so exclusive is the toning bars. I do know some studios are running a tone and sculpt without bars. Really, you should have the bars. And when you start pulling out the bars in your fusion class, you're taking away from the exclusivity of the tone. Yeah. And it's like slow and controlled movements, like lots of squats, lunges. But you should really only be using that bar. I forbid my instructors to take it out unless it's tone and sculpt. Because otherwise, the fusion is just going to turn into a tone and sculpt. And then if you're running a tone and sculpt, but you don't have the bars, then that's just a fusion again.
And then
So
you know what's
that's where
happening is all your
crossing
classes are the same.
Yeah.
And members get
People
bored.
are
I mean,
like-
you know it in your own personal practice. You want diversity, right?
Yeah.
So you get bored.
And that's when everything starts to kind of
Blend.
get confusing.
So usually I do like upper, lower, and like the core movement with like their first set or whatever, and they'll do another set. And I like usually take it to like the cardio first and bring it back in. So I
Yeah.
usually do those cardio first.
So I usually do upper body, lower body, and then maybe I'll do another upper body. And then I do a cardio burst, and then I repeat that the other 2 times.
Yeah, it's usually like
Yeah. And usually when you think about it,
the bar down first.
if you're moving at the pace that you should be moving, you're good with 3 to 4 different trisets. If you're moving at the pace that you're supposed to be moving. Yes. 12 exercises, you're golden. Come with 15 just to be sure. But always just make sure that you're rotating from upper body, lower body, upper body, lower body.
Yeah, you could be like, I'll do like one series of like 2 upper body minutes with a lower body, and then I can do like 2 lower body.
Yeah.
And then I'll do like cardio.
Yeah.
The bar down.
But I always know that it's a really good class to teach because you can format it really well and look at it and keep it really simple, and the class runs really well. You can execute it.
Yeah, you know, it's
Easily.
like fresh.
Yeah.
There's so much you can do.
Yeah.
Upper
Lisa,
body,
did you have a
upper
question
body,
about
lower body,
some stuff?
and also
Yeah,
pull.
doesn't it
Yeah.
add on this or
Yeah.
whatever?
Yeah.
pushing to all our owners, send a reminder, because as an instructor that teaches the class, I'll come in and like, they're like, oh, we did this last night in our fast and furious, and I'm like, what?
You mean using the bars?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I read these, that's why we're doing them. So I'm like, oh, okay, bar only, so then I'll come in and they'll be like, oh, we did this last night, I'm like, like,
Yeah.
oh, we're doing it again.
Yeah. It kind of takes away from
It does take away from
the whole
things,
thing.
and each class is specifically designed to do different things. I mean, it really.
Like you wouldn't go to
Maybe a friendly reminder just to all the
Totally, yeah.
yeah.
owners. Yeah.
And another reminder if you're teaching that class is just to be really mindful of where they put the bars, right? When we're doing jumping jacks and things like that. I know it's something that I
Yeah.
forget in my studio because our studio's quite big. So I don't have to count people off and do
Yeah,
any of that
I
stuff. So
do.
sometimes I forget to mention that because my room's so big, everybody's got space. But really be mindful of count people off, make them stagger, make sure everybody's bar is over to the side or in the front. The front is the best place if they're doing
Yeah.
jumping jacks and all of that. Sometimes I have them put it on the side if I want them to access it on their backs, if they can grab it that way, if they're doing something there.
Yeah.
But otherwise, the front is usually the best place so that people aren't doing burpees and rolling on their bars.
Yeah.
Right?
I usually tell them I have 2 rows and I just say bars against the wall. Because sometimes I'll put them in the middle and then I trip over them as I'm walking through.
Yeah.
Or if they're on the sides, we could be doing a movement and someone can easily roll their ankle on it. So I always say bars against the wall. I see a lot of people leaning them up too. I'm like, don't do that.
Lower it down if
Yeah.
you see that. Do it for them.
I have a question just about what other studios are doing with the ball against the heaters.
Like the Pilates ball?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're going through those like hotcakes.
Oh.
Really?
Really bad, yeah. They're popping.
Yeah.
Oh.
We don't usually have a
So we
problem with
usually
that.
try to put them in
melting.
between
Well,
the
yeah.
weights, all around.
Yeah, you have to
Fire
tell them
hazard.
to not put it by the heater.
Yeah, so we try to, like I'm using probably like 5 a month.
Yeah.
Not exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Do you guys buy this simple one?
Yeah, we don't have a problem with it usually. I mean, so if this is my mat in front of the room, I put all my stuff off to the side where our pops, right? So they're not against the wall or anything, but yeah, we just have to mention it. And say in all your classes, make sure the balls are in the heater. Right near props. Oh, that just sounded really Hey, don't use that. Don't put your
I've
balls
said
in the heater.
worse. I've said so much
Another something else that was mentioned is I just want to make sure that everyone isn't running the fusion class right to the very end. Like you're doing a 5-minute class.
Yeah.
because we are hearing that some studios are running their fusion like right till the end, which is really unsafe. You need to give the body some time to cool down, heart rate to drop. You don't want to just kind of be like, okay, we just did 30 jump squats. See you later. Bye.
It's in the mountains, the colder the muscles seize up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, be really mindful of that. Please do that. If you're getting a little pushback from your members, because obviously sometimes they're used to one thing, and if you come in and try to change it, just educate them, right? Just tell them this is so healthy for you. You know, it's going to help bring your body back into balance. It's going to give you that time to recharge for the rest of your day. Be a little bit of a salesperson. Just sell it to them, right? We need to make sure that we cool you off before you go out into the heat so that it's safe for your body. And I really care that, you know, all the healthy stuff that you just did, we want to continue to make sure that we're healthy and making wise choices and not just running off.
Okay. So what about a class like 15 by 4 where it's like start with 15 minutes and each of those 4 exercises? Do you just take away from the next exercise?
Yeah. So is it a half-hour class?
No, it's an hour. So it's 15 minutes of legs, 15 minutes arms, 15 minutes glutes, 15 minutes of abs.
What is that class?
15 by 4, like 15x 4. That's not an oxygen.
That's not oxygen class.
But clarification.
Yeah, you should do Shavasana.
Clarification, Christina, maybe with half-hour class.
Yes. Yeah. So half-hour classes, we still want to include the Shavasana at the beginning and the end, but it would be super, super quick. So the Shavasana at the beginning, the purpose in all of our classes is to get them present. Right? Now, the degree of that and how much we get them present will vary from class to class. Obviously, if you're doing a deep stretch or yoga class, you might add some philosophy and really spend more time in that. If it's a fast and furious, it'll just be a couple minutes, but it's still to get them present and release their day. So we still want that in the half-hour class. Now, of course, it'll be very, very short, but to start them in Shavasana, take, 30 seconds to inhale, exhale through the mouth, just like 3 times, and then get them moving. And then the same thing at the end. So it would just be a couple of really quick stretches, and then like a 30-second Shavasana or a minute Shavasana, just to take a moment to center before they go out into their day, right? Visit their intention again, or thank your body, something like that. Just it helps to bookend all our classes in a way that they can really get everything out of it that we want them to get out of it. Right? They can come in, release, get this amazing workout, reset their mental state and whatever they're feeling and going through, and then take a moment to like incorporate that and integrate it, and right?
Is there any classes that you don't do Shavasana in?
Our bar classes. So the bar classes are meant to end in seated. Yeah, and then some side stretching. Some arms
I
out.
think I've been to like a boot camp one or something, and there was no Shavasana, but maybe that was just the teacher.
What about arms? Do we end in, I have 5 minutes between my arms and my legs class, just in case anybody wants to leave, which typically mostly everybody stays. So I don't end in classes.
Well, if you're doing that,
because I only have like 2 people who leave my one class, and maybe 2 people who come into the next, and it's literally 7 o'clock and 7 or 5 minutes.
Or like your half-an-hour classes?
Session.
yeah.
I would do some sort of repeating exercise.
Yeah. I would still put them in Shavasana for that 5 minutes, and then they can stay there or leave, I guess.
Yeah.
Sure.
Or maybe put them in give them a couple of stretching options for that 5 minutes or something.
Yeah, I just kind of stretch them out, and then I all right, is anybody leaving? And then as people leave, then I'll do the mantra and stuff. And then if nobody's leaving and they're all staying, then I'm like, okay, just stretch out for a minute, grab a sip of water, and let's start again. So it's almost like they just get a 5-minute break. So. Okay. It was not my choice.
Technically, so formatting wise, that would be 2 classes. So yeah, you would end in Shavasana and start in Shavasana. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
So obviously you guys are trying to create a consistency of classes, but how about equipment? Because I feel like there's not a consistency of
That's
equipment.
true. Yeah, so the equipment is a little bit more challenging. I agree, it would be awesome if the students, but it comes down to a few different things. Space to store all the equipment, right? Some
Yeah.
students have more space than others. Cost, depending on, when a brand new studio opens, there's so much cost, to invest in all that. So a lot of times the older studios will have more because they over time can keep, accumulate more.
Yeah.
So we really kind of leave that up to the owner and more. What's doable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel like some people go to like, I don't know, like New West, and they walk in there and it's like great, right? And then you walk into like, I don't know, some other studio and it's like, ooh, like.
And it is part of our challenge as a franchise, honestly, as we grow, the newer ones, and my studio is an older studio, so I totally get it. It is a challenge in the sense of some of the newer studios are nicer and they're built nicer. And then those of us with older studios, it's a little bit different. So there is some challenge there, but I always come back to it's a family-run studio, and we build community, and we really structure around that to try to build that up. So
that's what I see.
But it's hard if you're paying membership and the membership fee is the same at both places, and you're not getting the same equipment. Yeah. I don't know.
I think that comes just because we want more. I think that just comes with learning and running a franchise. In the beginning, you kind of let everybody kind of see it on as their own and decorate it, and then you realize it creates a brand you need to kind of hone this in. And like you said, it's every franchise is different. Every location pays different amount of money, and you just can't compare. Just sink yourself into where you're working and just give it your best. I've subbed at North End. North End's an amazing community. It's completely different than West End, and it's literally right over here. The members are completely different. They have very different expectations. They're used to Christina and her husband being at the front desk. Come somewhere else, and you might not get anybody at the front desk. So it's just you just have to give it your very best no matter where you go. I teach in East Bend, it's very different, but it's awesome. The people really just want to have great fitness classes and be and feel valued. Honestly, it's not about the equipment. You are the equipment.
Yeah.
Take away equipment, you are the equipment.
We're one of the older studios, and people will leave and they always come back, and there's something about this place or the vibe, because every studio has a different vibe.
And I sometimes teach Fast and Furious like once in 2 months without no equipment, and the students are like, oh, what, nothing? And I was like, nothing. You can get a great workout without the weights. Nothing.
And the members that want a lot of equipment will go to a studio like Elaine's, where she's got her equipment exploding. And the members that are okay with not as much are going to come to that. It's finding an instructor in a studio that suits you best, and not everybody's going to vibe on the same level with the same people. You've got to find that your home.
And don't forget, you can get a great workout without no props and completely awful workout with 20 props.
It's not so much about having props, it's more about when the props are available and they're not in good shape.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
Or
I get it.
Yeah. And it's kind of embarrassing.
When your blocks smell like
Blocks are like brown.
That's great out
Oh. Sometimes you're like, put the block on your face. Like,
I put my own block.
You can ask if you can do now. If that's something that means something to you, and you're teaching in that studio, and
maybe the owner has no clue.
Yeah.
Right. Take initiative. Either speak to the owner or research it yourself, and then say, hey, I bought these cleaning products. Here's the bill. How do you feel about this? I can return it if you don't want to. But I'd be happy to clean it and maintain it better, or say it in your own words.
Yeah. But just voice it out. Maybe the owner doesn't know that, or doesn't even realize, because she's got 100 different, or he has 100 different things on their plate, and it's never crossed their minds that maybe the weights are falling apart, or they need to be dipped in some sanitizer or something like that. I forget things all the time, and I'm an owner, And I have my instructors telling me, or my members will tell me, and I'll be like, okay, on that. Right, but I'm not gonna know unless nobody tells me, and I get it can be a little bit intimidating. That's like, if you're like, hey, your weights are a little stinky, but maybe just saying that. I don't know. Like,
Constructive feedback is so
Jess will
important.
know a good way to say it.
Say what?
Your weights are stinky.
Yes. There's been a few comments around the studio, some whispers of the odor emitting from the equipment room. And if it's worded in a way that you're putting no blame, you're not pointing any fingers, you're not, trying to shame them or make them feel guilty, you're good to go. And coming at it from a proactive mindset where it's like, I want to help you, what can we do? Let's make this, let's solve this problem. But it's so true, like people don't know unless you tell them. I remember the other day, like even feedback in your classes when you have members tell you stuff. I had a member come up and be like, your flow is great, but a little bit too fast. Slow it down, like really take that inhale, take that exhale. I was like, thanks, man. You can appreciate that because you don't know unless someone lets you know, right? So it's good. And if they're wanting to be the best versions of themselves and create a wonderful studio, they'll welcome that with open arms. If you have a studio owner that's like, well, and kind of throwing it back at your face, then like you got to ask yourself if that's a studio that resonates with you. And then place yourself where you're valued and where you feel like you're at home. But because, if you're approaching it from a loving, kind, and gentle way, what you get back is on them. Yeah. It's true.
Thank you.
Hope that helped.
Question?
Bring it on. Sarah. Paddleboarding yoga.
Christina, maybe touch on when people come in and they're new and they just graduated, and the expectation I think on themselves is we have a few instructors and they're like, oh, my classes aren't as busy as yours. Again, like just take that away. Don't listen to that. Like don't listen to people, oh well, so and so did it this way when they subbed for you, or I don't want you to do this. It's like own your class, like you guys say. The more presence you do when you walk around the room. You stay on your mat, you look timid. You walk around, you own the room. Yeah. Walk around the room. Greet everybody, high five them, but get in their face and make a presence that this is your class. That's the biggest thing. Because I know you've got your music and you've got all these other things, and you have two new people in West Van, and they're like, and I'm just like, walk the room. Own it. Just go out there and be like, hi, this is me. I'm not Christina. I'm not you. I'm not you. I'm me. And that's like the best advice, I think.
And finding your own unique style. I'm not trying to replicate any other instructor, but really tune it to you. At the moment that I realized that I had a brand within myself, and that once I could get off my paper too, it all comes, there's layers. As a new instructor, like there is so many layers that you peel back. And I think the one thing that really helped me was I felt it within myself that time is the best gift that you can give yourself. Be patient with your practice, be patient with your process, because you're gonna eventually get there. Just stay confident and know that like you can do this and that you've got, say to yourself, I've got me. And then like from that mindset of like, that you're confident with your ability to be an instructor and own the room, all of those layers are just going to peel back, and then just lead your class with like light and love. And so it's so positive. Stick with it. Try when you get that feedback and you get people saying, I want it to be a certain way or whatever. You can take that on if you want to, but you're going to learn that like what really works in a class is your authenticity and you feeling and vibing it out for you and what it just pulling your own brand forward and putting it in front of the class. It's your stage. So own it. But you're going to get there in your own time. Be patient with yourself. I'm trying to say. The main thing, be patient. You'll get there.
Just touching on that, we actually sit down and alter every single one of our classes about members comparing other instructors, because it does happen a lot. Where it's like, this person came in, they don't teach bar like you teach bar, and you didn't do this enough, you didn't do this enough, maybe this and that. It was like literally getting to the point where we had to sit in every class that we taught. Each instructor had to be like, I understand that you guys love that this person teaches this way, or
So if you don't appreciate or enjoy the way that I teach, then feel free to please go to somebody else's class.
Exactly. In a kind and gentle way, you basically say, if you don't like it, then I'm sorry, go to her. Why are you telling me? Just go to her class. Or his class, excuse me. Or his class. There's two gentlemen in the first 2 rows in here.
Like every class I taught in the morning, whatever. It was like, I get that you guys participation.
Was it a core group of people that were making these like statements? Was it like a?
That was starting to go around. There's just going on.
Go by some stages.
Stages, yes.
And it changed the culture. Changed the culture, which is what you were doing. So that's awesome. But yeah, you just changed the culture.
Or what I would do, I would just come from it and get all of your teachers together, have a potluck, and just jam it out. Honestly, the tighter the team, then that crap won't happen. The tighter the team.
Well, it's just, and then it's like, you know what, that person's not going to teach them. It's not helping. And they don't have that style, or they're not.
And wouldn't that suck if we all taught the same?
Yeah. It's almost like you have to be treated others. I get that in the gun right away. Right? And I just tell them, and it used to be bad at Coco, and I would just say, I'm getting a sub tomorrow. Don't be mean and keep an open mind. Because some people will just go in there and they'll expect someone to sub for me, and it's going to be exactly like what I'm supposed to do. And it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be.
And as a teacher, so you can't please everyone, right? You can't be all different types of people. So what's most important is that you're authentic and that you're teaching from your truest self, because that's when it's going to resonate with other people. So taking that time to, I meditate before my classes, but whatever it is for you that gets you grounded so that you can be authentic. And a lot of times what we see in new instructors is, you know, the first 5 minutes, they're like, voice is shaky. And once they get into the zone, once they get into the class, their authentic self starts to come out. And yes, over time, that will develop even more. But taking that time to try to get grounded before your class so that that authentic self can come out and so that you can be who you are.
Did you say get to class early? Did you cover that?
Well, no, but yes. Yeah. If you're rushing, you're
ground yourself in the studio. If you're running into it, you're mat down, putting everything, you're just like, you're up here. And now you're like double.
When I have a new instructor come in, I don't even, like, I know a lot of owners will ask for feedback. I don't even ask for feedback. If it was good, I won't hear anything. If it was, you know, if it was bad, maybe I'll get some feedback. But I feel like when I say, that was a new instructor today, do you have any feedback for me? I'm just asking for negativity. So I just let it go.
Well, what starts to happen, I think, is if you do that with the instructors, is that members start to think that they should do that with that new instructor every single class. Right? So then it's like, that new instructor has now been here 3 or 4 weeks, and I'm still getting all this feedback. It's like, okay, that's good. You took the feedback. We're working with it, and now you can stop giving me feedback. You know,
I never
she's learning and she's growing and she's done great. So
if it comes, it comes. But I never ask for it. And if I do get feedback, I read the feedback and I say, well, is this really feedback?
So you think so?
Is something that I'm like, I'm not even. A lot of the things that I see, I feel like I'm not even gonna.
Yeah.
Let's just delete that email because that wasn't even good feedback. You know, and some people just.
If you have an owner that has experience with being an instructor, particularly, they get it.
Yeah, I get it.
It's hard. And you're gonna screw up, you know, make little mistakes here and there, and you're not gonna be on your game every class. If you have an instructor that gets it and knows that it's just one day. That's doesn't define your entire practice or your entire existence as a O2 instructor. And you just let it go, just brush it off. Keep your vibe up.
Shannon teaching for me, and I was just like, Shannon's gonna be teaching the whole week that I'm gone. You guys better be nice to her. I'm here about it.
Thank you. I was just gonna say, people that have been teaching for a long time should be like, I have somebody subbing for me. You need to embrace that. She'll be fine. Like, instead of just being like, oh, I have a sub. Let me know how she's gonna do. You know, like
I didn't even say I have a sub. You'll see it on the schedule.
So thank you.
You have something you wanted to bring up?
Something that I would suggest to your instructors is a lot of times when clients see a new name on the schedule, they want to know how long you've been teaching yoga for. There's a great way to redirect that. You don't necessarily have to speak to how long you've been teaching yoga. You can speak to how long you've been
practicing yoga. And that takes a lot of the pressure off going in. They don't necessarily need to know you're new to teaching. You're new to the studio, but do they need to know you're new to teaching? Not necessarily. So just kind of going with that mindset that they don't know any better, and unless you share it with them,
And it's always just certain people that are
Thank you. That's a good point.
about the feedback. I have one person that just is about the feedback. And she'll go to the instructor and she's giving her the feedback and I'm like, just take your feedback and put it in an email. Because she's got to teach another class after and you're messing with her mind right now. Right?
We have a suggestion box in West End, and I literally tell people because they don't know boundaries. And they'll say something about my coworkers, and when you slam my coworkers, I get upset.
Yeah.
When you slam my owner, I get upset. So this is my place.
Put it in
of
the
work.
suggestion box.
This is my place of healing. This is my place I go to every day. So I say, that is great information. It's important to you. It's important to me. Put that in the suggestion box. I'm not a sounding board for you and your opinions. That's not my job. My job is to lead you in your practice, and then I exit the building. That's my job.
But I don't think so that there is something wrong with being new teacher. We all been there.
Yes.
We all messed up. And like I have a teacher, students in North Van who remember my karma class. And we were like, remember when we did this and that? And I'm like, yeah, I remember. I was new. I'm sorry.
Don't tell
You know? And like when you start something new, you're gonna mess up. Yeah. It doesn't matter what job it is.
Doesn't matter what you're doing.
So just tell your
It's a
student,
learning
yeah,
curve.
I'm learning and I want to learn. I want to be good. Give it to me, right? And I will do my best for the next time. There's nothing wrong with being new. Nothing wrong. It's actually great. You're starting something new that's exciting. And your students can be part of your growth, right? You just need to open their mind and tell them how it is. Like, okay, so maybe 5 minutes of burpees wasn't that great idea.
Take the feedback in, use what's constructive and leave the rest. Don't let it destroy you. Yeah. Especially when it's when you get it like right before you're about to teach another class. That happened to me a couple weeks ago. And I was like, oh
yeah.
And then I went into the bathroom and grounded. Just breathed it out, walked back in. Good. Just let it roll. Don't let it consume you because it's just gonna perpetuate bullshit for yourself and it's not yours.
I used to cry all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
I used to cry. But now I'm just like, you don't like it? It was constructive feedback then. And if it
And
was
you'll get
something
feedback
about,
your entire career.
I didn't like your music. That's not
I got that, yeah, on the app, like, right, so everyone can see it.
Like I have one instructor that plays, not my jam, ABBA during her classes.
Oh.
And I'll just be like, oh, but she does great. She's waitlisted all the time. And I play hip hop, but they just learn to accept ABBA for an and they like my Cardi B for it. And it's the same crew that comes to her class and comes to my class. Totally. They just know with her, I'm going to get a different workout, and with Elena, I'm going to get a
That's
different
just
workout.
it. You're not going to have everybody love your classes. It's not going to happen. If that's your goal, then like you're chasing the white dragon. You're never going to see it.
Yeah.
You've just got to stay authentic to who you are, and then the members will align with you that like you and want your style and love your classes. That's it. And the ones that won't, they'll go somewhere else, and that's perfectly fine.
All right, good. Any other questions?
Do we still really have 45 minutes?
No, we're done. We're just doing Q&A to finish up, but we keep, we're going on and on a lot. So yeah, I was gonna add another question. No. We finished early. So with the certificate, all you have to do is put your name on there, obviously. Go into Yoga Alliance, find the course. The name is there, the Fitness Fusion. Find it there, apply for it, and then it'll shoot me an email. I'll prove that you were here and get those 4 hours. You do have to obviously be registered with Yoga Alliance first to get those. So if you're not yet, then there's no other questions.
So sorry, you put
Sorry, yes, you count with our BCRKs as well.
No.
Oh my
Yeah. All right, cool. Well then.